Hey guys, Crewman here. So I just got back from a sale. I sold a 3080 Founders, and the guy I bought it off asked me if I was willing to knock $100 off for this PC, and I said, you know, what's in it? He said, I don't really know too much about it. I just know that it's a shitty Dell pre-built, and it's got a 1080 in it. I said, I'd knock $100 off for a 1080. And he said, well, will you take the rest of the PC? And, you know, I asked him, are you sure? He said, yeah. So here it is. I didn't really have much time to look at it. He just showed me. I took a quick gander in it. But I did just notice this, because I didn't know what kind of CPU. And it is an i7 8th gen, which is, I'm pretty excited, because I honestly thought it would be some kind of crappy i6 or 6th or 7th gen. Just gutted it. So here's what I pulled out. I found the fan header and this SATA cable. This motherboard, I mean, you know, it looks fine. Gen 3 NVMe 256. I mean, that's not terrible. You guys want to see what the CPU is with me? Bring this up real quick. Alright, drum roll please. What is this thing? It is a... Oh wow, okay. 8700. I'm not... I don't know. I put new RAM in. Nothing. So I think I put a new CMOS battery in. Nothing. So I think it's the CPU or the motherboard. Buddy let me borrow a motherboard. Just some generic Ace Rock thing that he had lying around. So we're gonna short it, and I mean it just got a cooler popped on it with 8 gigs of RAM. We're gonna see if it boots. Do we get a display? Do we get a display? Yes, we do! Victory! It works! Alright, guys. So I'm gonna give this back to my buddy. So the CPU works. Now we just need a motherboard. Oh, right. My replacement motherboard just showed up. I didn't even know EVGA made these until I put an ad on hardwareswap. Got this baby for 65 bucks. Still in the shrink wrap. Can't beat that. I'm going to open it, I'm going to get this PC posted, and then we're going to build it. And before I put it in the case, I wanted to build everything, get the OS installed, make sure everything works. And then I wanted to get the games loaded up so I could run some tests on those. And I'm going to run Overwatch, and I'm going to run Call of Duty, see how they play. Here we go. So here we're playing Overwatch, 1080p high settings. I just jumped us right in the middle of a game. I didn't want to waste too much time. And as you can see, it's locked. The monitor is 165 hertz. It's a 1440p monitor, but I'm just using it in 1080 for now. And it's completely locked. Some interesting things that I see. It's not CPU bound at 1080p with the 8700. And it's certainly not GPU bound. So as you can see, Overwatch runs fantastic. Alright guys, so as you can see for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I'm running the recommended presets for 1080p. The GPU is starting to is bound here for sure, but the CPU isn't bound, which is actually pretty cool. So I can probably lower these settings to mid or low graphics and get better FPS, but this is pretty playable. I'm averaging, you know, in between 85 on the lows, it seems like, to about 100 on the highs. This is definitely playable. It looks pretty good as well. I don't see any issues. The only real thing to talk about is the fact that the CPU isn't bound at all, which means if we ever wanted to upgrade this GPU to, I don't know, maybe a 1080 Ti, 2080 Super, and play it in 1080, I don't think we'd be CPU bound still, which is pretty good. Now that you saw the process of me building this and getting the parts and how it gamed, let's talk about what I paid for it. So let's do the parts breakdown. First, we've got the case. The case cost me 54 bucks shipped on hardwareswap. Then let's go with the guts of the machine. We've got an M.2 that you can't see because the GPU's over it, a 1080, two 16 gigabyte or two 8 gig sticks of RAM. I think they're 2800 of the timings. Then we've got an 8700 i7, the non-K model, along with the cooler, all taken from a Dell pre-built. The power supply worked, but, you know, I didn't really want to put that power supply in here. And I don't know what's wrong with the motherboard. I honestly don't know. So, theoretically, I could just sell the Dell power supply for probably like 10 or 15 bucks and just knock that off the price. But, you know, I'm not going to do that right now. Then we've got some case fans that I had left over from a previous build. You can get these online for about 15 bucks. So, that's what I put them for. I originally was going to use a 120mm AIO, which I had actually just bought along with this SSD for 20 bucks a long time ago. And unfortunately, the AIO wasn't working. So that is, you know, that's one of the negatives of buying used parts. If you don't test them, sometimes they don't work. But like I said, I paid 20 for the whole thing. So let's just say we'll call this 15 bucks because that's what they go for online usually. So even if I paid 20 for it, it's 240 gig SSD. So it's a pretty good deal. And that's where we're going to put the games on this thing. And then I've got this motherboard. It's a really sweet motherboard. As you can see, it's got an on-off switch on it, a postcode. It's got a ton of bells and whistles. It's an EVGA classified motherboard. I got this thing brand new in box. I regret not doing an unboxing video. The whole thing was 65 bucks shipped. So that was a really good deal. I got that off hardwareswap. And then the power supply I had from a previous build. I'm valuing it about 30 bucks because you can buy them on EVGA B stock for 35 bucks every Wednesday when they lower the prices. And you can get these on hardwareswap for around there. It's a 500 watt non-modular bronze. Do the job. Does everything perfect on this. And then that's really it on what I bought for this thing. So yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed the video. And like I said, buying used parts, I really do feel that buying used parts is the way to go. You know, if you don't feel comfortable dealing with used parts, you can start slow by buying small things until you feel comfortable. But honestly, I have never had an issue buying parts on Discord or hardwareswap. And if you do, you have PayPal goods and services to protect you. So you won't get screwed. You won't get screwed. But remember, always use PayPal goods and services. And as far as the broken part, which is this AIO right here, I would argue that was my fault for not checking it. I mean, I didn't really have something to check it with. But like I said, these two were 20 bucks each total. So like, it wasn't really like I was taking a gamble. I might try to see if I can fix that AIO, you know, to learn more about them. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I just want to show you that budget PC gaming is not dead. And as you saw on the gaming videos, this thing is a beast for $250. So now I'm going to pack this thing up, and it's going to my buddy who's just getting into PC gaming, and I really think he's going to love it. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I plan on doing more builds like this in the future, as I source parts out and get them, and as I have friends who need PCs. And, you know, we'll go all ranges of budget to non-budget, just depending on what I get the prices for. But I definitely like to do budget content because anybody can throw, you know, $1,500 to $3,000 and buy a PC. But, you know, sourcing one out with lower end parts, building it, testing it, you know, everything else, I really find that interesting. And I hope you guys do too. So again, please like and subscribe. Recruitman out.